The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio. From hot dogs to cool kitties, this is Darkside of the Pooch.
Welcome back to Darkside the Pooch, brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics, Citation Lane in the Homewood. Man, they got all kinds of comics, 60s, 70s, and 80s. They got all kinds of toys. If you're looking for a toy, any kind of toy, old-time toy, still in the box, you name it. Of course, they got cards and everything else. Check out Sasquatch Toys and Comics. What do you get that big old crap-eating grin on your face for? What's going on?
Did I ever tell you... Did I ever tell you about my Spawn and #1 comic? My Spawn 1.
Well, that sounds like it's something that's worth a lot of money.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get it pulled up here. Spawn #1.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who is still a client of mine, but she's older. She's older than me. She's probably in her 60s, but she looks a lot younger than that. I'm not gonna oust her, but if she listens to the show, she's gonna know who she is.
Yeah.
She worked for it was a massive bookstore chain, and I can't remember
like Barnes and Noble or something like
that. Maybe.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
But anyway, they dealt a lot in collectibles as well, because you get collectibles in these bookstores. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's now married, but she wasn't married. She didn't have kids for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
She was always working, flying all over the country, probably all over the world.
Yeah.
And she would give me the greatest birthday gifts. I was like a glorified nephew. Okay.
I got you.
Like whole series of baseball cards.
Wow.
You know, like the entire Topps 1992 set, stuff signed by Brooks Robinson, Brett Favre.
Wow.
Tony Dorsett. I still in my possession have a basketball that she got from my dad. My dad's passed away, but it was a basketball that legitimately signed by John Wooden, and totally just blanked. Huge Grateful Dead guy. Played for Wooden. No. He played for Wooden. Played in the NBA. Bill Walton. Bill Walton.
Yeah.
He just passed away. Bill Walton just passed away. So it's a ball signed by Bill Walton and John Wooden. It's at my house
awesome.
right
That's
now.
Awesome.
So anyway, we're talking about comics. So she got me this comic right here. It's Spawn #1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Spawn #1. Signed by Todd McFarlane.
Okay.
The guy who wrote and, drew the comic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And a few years ago in a move, I lost it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I lost it.
Oh, you probably still got it there, or you have to have that.
No, man, I've turned the house upside down. I turned it upside down. I don't know where it went. No clue.
Oh, is that? And I'm assuming it sounds like it's worth some money. Is that worth some money?
I mean, the comic itself is probably maybe worth $50 to $100.
Yeah,
but a signed copy, probably worth more.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Wow, that's amazing. It's funny because I've got a lot of memorabilia as well. Hundreds of pieces of signed memorabilia, because almost every band I dealt with, or every comedian or whatever, I had signed stuff. And, it's never worth what you think it is.
No.
Because it's only worth what someone's willing to give you for it. And so most of the stuff, I did something with the Brass Bear because we had a special case, and I was trying to help my ex-wife at the time, trying to help her get some money growing a little bit, and get some eyeballs on her stuff. So I started bringing some of my collectibles. I had a Donald Trump signed book, and stuff like that. And of course that sold pretty quick. That was his first presidency when he was president, 45. And I put it was $200, but I put just out on the outside, what I was willing to take for it, because I didn't want to sell the stuff unless it's depressing. I had a Mariano Rivera baseball that I gave to Buffalo Wild Wings for some auction they did after the 98 World Series, and went for $5. And I was like, damn it, guys. I said, someone didn't give more than $5 for Mariano Rivera. I mean, the baseball itself is worth more than that. Oh, it just bummed me out. I was like, it's worth at least a couple of $100. So anyway, but
yeah.
I geek out on stuff like that because that's all I used to do is collect, autograph stuff. I used to there's a magazine called Autograph Magazine that's probably got like 4 subscribers to it. I was one of them. You can actually go in there and they actually were selling in the back. If you pull up who you want to get an autograph from, someone was actually selling an autograph of Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. $150,000 for, and it makes you wonder, wouldn't you think there'd be an autograph of Jesus Christ somewhere? Shouldn't someone have an autograph of Jesus Christ? I'm not a believer until I see Jesus Christ's name on a piece of paper, like, written in some type of Stetzel, like organic pen in Hebrew.
Hey, you know what? Yeah. It was probably an autograph of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it could have been Jesus Christ. But yeah, you can find this stuff. So there you go. But go to Sasquatch. If they ain't got it, they'll find it. And I wouldn't be surprised. I told them what you and I were talking about baseball cards. I've still got my box, and now most of my cards are 50 years old because they were all from 74, 75, 76, and 77. So I have no clue if I'm sitting on something that's worth some money or not. But who knows? But again, it's only worth what someone is willing to give you.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to stuff like that, you should never like buy stuff like that as an investment.
No,
if you want it, you should buy it for yourself and keep it because it means something to you.
Yeah,
it's cool to you.
Yeah, and show it to your kids so your kids will want it too. So in case sometimes kids take all their family's stuff that they get in inheritance and they just sell it because they're like, I don't want Dad's baseball card collection. I don't want that crap. I don't want his coin collection. I don't want that garbage.
I don't want this Honus Wagner card.
I don't want this Honus Wagner card.
$1 million.
Yeah, this Ty Cobb card. What the heck? Who's that? Ty Cobb. Who's that? Father's Day is coming up on Sunday. A recent survey came out just a couple of days ago that is making some remarkable change in the way men think about or fathers think about Father's Day. And that is 65% of the men, they just want presence, not presence. In other words, they want the presence of their children instead of the presence of really bad gifts. And it makes sense. And I think fathers have gotten, and I actually talked about this on the Kiefer and Kurre show earlier, men are like 300% more involved now in their children's lives than they were back in the 60s. Because guys are into everything right now. I just got a friend of mine just canceled a show later today because his boy's got a baseball game that I'm like, okay, that's fine. You got to do what you got to do. Would have never been like that in the 60s. Men would have done anything they possibly could my dad never changed a diaper. He had 4 children, was born in 1935. When I brought his grandson up grandson and held him out, he held him like this. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, he's crapped his pants. I'm like, give your grandson. It was the first time I ever met him. I'm like, give your grandson a hug. He's like, I'm not hugging that. I'm not. My dad was totally freaked out by changing a diaper. I'm like, dude. I said, you never changed a diaper? He goes, no. He said, that's what your mother did all that stuff. That's just the way it was. It was just a different time. So
it was.
I kind of wanted to get your thoughts before we start talking about some pet care at the Rossbridge Animal Hospital. By the way, this is the Darkside, the Pooch, 208-0301, rossbridgevet.com or .org or .net or .gov or .whatever. But what do you typically do for a Father's Day? Or what do you want to do for Father's Day? Are you one of those guys that's like, I see my kids all the time, get the hell away from me, I want to go play golf all day? Or do you play the father and you're like, let's spend the day together?
No, I don't make a big deal about it. But for the first time, I think in 11 Father's Days, I'm going to be totally alone.
Wow.
My wife and kids are going on a mission trip to Ensenada, Mexico.
Okay.
My mom is going. They're going through our church. Mm-hmm. And so my wife, this is so funny that you bring this up. My wife texted me today and she said, oh my gosh, we're not going to be home on Father's Day. And I said, you're just now realizing this? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, you probably didn't have much planned for me anyway. Yeah. You're just now realizing that you're going to be gone. So it's not that big a deal. But I will really miss them a lot because they're actually at the beach right now. Like they're the summers, they come and go. Mm-hmm. And they left on Saturday. We're recording this on Monday. I really miss them a lot. Like I'm good, like 48 hours. But then it's like, man, where are my people at?
I hear you. Hey, by the way, if you're going to be by yourself, the titles from SpectraVision do not show up on your bill, so you can get whatever you want through SpectraVision. You can go check into a hotel by yourself. It's been a while since we saw those kind of movies. No, I totally agree with that. And I was talking to Kip this morning. He's got 2 sons, and man, he's just a great dad. You can just tell how much he fawns over his boys and how much he loves the success and how he played a part in that. And we both agree, man. We just want to be appreciated. Guys are easy. The ties are fine and all that stuff, and certainly understand. But my son's like, "What do you want for Father's Day?" And I asked him for some sweatbands. I said, "Give me something I actually need, like some sweatbands." He's like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, I want sweatbands." And he's like, "Going to give me an air fryer?" I was like, "I don't want an air fryer. Give me some sweatbands. Give me some." But I mean, a card with a heartfelt paragraph, and I'm talking like a paragraph, not like "I love you, Dad. Thanks for everything." I'm talking about something from the heart. If that's what I mean to you, and I know I do, that means the best gift I ever got was a card that my son wrote me, and it was right after our divorce had happened. It was right, we split up, and so we were apart. And he wrote me the most beautiful card I could ever ask for. It's 4 pages long. It's hanging on my refrigerator, and I just absolutely adore it because it's from the heart, and you can tell it just poured out of him. And it's just a beautiful thing. So, as long as we're appreciated, we're always trying to, men validate themselves with their wallet and their penis. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't have either one of those. So it's very difficult to want to be this. So we just want to be appreciated for what we do bring to the table. And being a great father. And I always thought to myself, it's funny because what do you want to be remembered by? If you ask 100 guys, what do you want to be remembered for? I would bet that 70% of them would say just being a good dad, because that's paying it forward. And I want my kids to have it good. And I was, that would be probably on my headstone. He was a good dad. That's all I want to be known as. And I don't care if you think I'm a good dad, as long as my kids think I was great, then I'm good to go.
Absolutely. My son, to show you how little I need. Mm-hmm. My son's 11, he'll be 12 next month. And out of the blue yesterday, he sent me a text. It wasn't a response to me. He said, Hey Daddy, I love you. I hope you're having a good day. I miss you. And it was a text, a 3-sentence text that was unprovoked. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Wow. I mean, the kids don't realize how much that, and
it can teach me, maybe I need to call my mom a little more often.
Yeah. And again, this is a generational thing, but I feel like we are much more emotionally attached to our kids than my mom and dad were. My dad, if we had phones back then, my dad would never text me. My mom probably would have never texted me. She'd call me and say, I love you or whatever, if I was spending the night at a friend's house or something. But yeah, I mean, it just, now sometimes, I'll send something like, hey, just want to thank you for being such a great son. You're just wonderful, blah, blah, blah. And maybe after he just got a black belt or graduated or maybe just because I love him, and I miss him. He went to college, and then he'll say, are you okay? Yeah. Are you all right? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, you're not dying or something, are you? I'm like, no. Why? And he goes, I don't know. You sent me that text. He goes, are you drinking again? I'm like, no. I said, I love you. And he goes, okay, that was kind of weird. And I'm like, really?
Watching Hallmark?
I was like, dude, I'm just, sending you a card because I love you. And I'm like, it's like, okay. But, kids don't always know how to take that either. But so I guess you could gush a little bit more than you probably need to. Yeah, screw them. My kids. Just give me some grandkids and I'll be fine. Speaking of Father's Day, man's best friend is our dog. And of course, we're talking a lot of pooches, and there's my dog. Boy, as soon as I said dog, he stuck his head up. He's already gone for his 3-mile walk today, Rainer. I will truly believe, but the question is, and I get an email here, if dogs are man's best friend, why aren't cats women's best friends?
They're too similar. They fight.
Too similar, you think?
They're too similar. You know that thing where you can't be best friends.
I know if you try to hold on to one too tight, they'll scratch the hell out of you. And I'm talking cats, of course.
They're the exact. I mean, they're too similar. They're like they don't work out. You got to have a yin and a yang, and with women and cats, it's a yin.
Yeah, but dogs and men are just the same. We want to lick ourselves. We're dumb. We're stupid. We'll chase the ball 1,000,000 times. We'll do anything to get a girl in heat. We'll do anything to make love to another dog. We're called dogs. We go to the dog house when we get in trouble. We are exactly like dogs.
You're messing up my joke.
Oh, Sorry.
You're disproving me. You're disproving it, messing up my joke.
I understand.
Move on. Next email.
I understand what you're saying. No, so there was another email here from Todd in Birmingham. He wanted to know, and it's funny because I guess people know that with Father's Day coming up, most men know it's Father's Day, not women. But he wanted to know, what are the top 5 breeds as man's best friend? What are the top, if you wanted to get man's best friend as far as the top best breeds, if you want a dog to be your best friend, what are the top 5 breeds?
Okay, so we've talked about your disdain for Family Feud.
Yeah.
I know you do not like Family Feud, okay? But I'm going to give you, because occasionally you will get a Family Feud question. Yeah. And the answer is, now stay with me. This is not my answer, but the answer is nothing. Like, that is one of the answers. Okay. So this guy is asking for breeds. So I'm going to start off by saying a mutt. That is one of my breeds. Right. A mutt, a non-breed.
I hear you.
All right. So that's one. Okay. Golden Retriever.
Okay. I'm going to write these down because I'm going to be getting me another dog here shortly. Okay.
A Labrador has to be there.
Labrador is unbelievable, and Labradors are just are so great. I mean, Labradors cannot screw up anything. It's like they pee or poop on the floor. You don't even care. They're just so wonderful. Yeah.
I think a boxer has to be there.
Boxer's interesting, aren't they? They're really high strung though. That's the only thing. My neighbor had a boxer. Man, that thing could jump a fence in a heartbeat. But I mean, it wasn't trained at all. But they are beautiful animals.
Yeah, but you really don't meet many mean ones. We give that. Yeah. They're super strong, and they do jump up a lot. If they're not, I mean, they'll tear you up, but don't mean to. Yeah. Yeah. And then I think there's so many that could come in at number 5.
And it's amazing because almost all these are big. All big dogs.
That's where I'm going to buck the trend here. I'm going to say a beagle.
Oh, see, that's perfect. No, I think that's great. I mean,
beagles are super loyal.
They're great hunting dogs. They're great sniffers. No, beagles
super loud, super noisy.
They are, but I mean, so are we.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's perfect. That's a great list. Mutt, Golden Retriever, Labrador, Boxer, and Beagle. And I was happy because I don't really consider beagles small dogs, although they are. I mean, they're near the ground. But I think most people would think that like Doberman, Saint Bernard, I had a wire fox terrier. It was one of the best dogs I ever had. And I always thought
those aren't classic. Those just aren't like man's man
dog. Bulldog. Yeah. Bulldog's big. Everybody,
too high maintenance. Bulldogs are too high maintenance. You got to have low maintenance and loving.
Yeah. Darkside the Pooch brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics is Dr. Rab Stewart, Rossbridge Animal Hospital. We were out there just a couple days ago. My boy and I walked the track, and it was on Saturday. I almost called to see if you were working. Were you working on Saturday?
This past Saturday, I was not working.
Okay, so you would not have been there.
I was mowing the grass.
We walked up there. There you go. Susan in Birmingham wants to know if a tick bit your dog and you never took it off, how large would the tick get before it exploded? Have you ever had a really, really big tick on you and it was on a part of your body you just didn't? Like I had one on the back of my leg once, and I just because I got a mole back there, and so I figured it was just part of the mole, and I didn't get it for like 3 or 4 days. People were like, you didn't feel a tick? I was like, no, it's dark and it's early in the morning. And I wash my legs really fast. I don't do the washcloth thing. I take a bar of soap and just go up and down because my legs don't get dirty. I don't work in ditches. I mean, I wear a pair of slacks. So I'm like,
working radio.
My legs get dry. And so I just kind of whip through it. I get my toes and the 7 parts really good. But I don't get my legs. But for some reason, I was on the back of my leg, and I don't have hairy legs either. So I don't even know what I was doing back there. But it got pretty big. So let's do this. If you were wanting to do an experiment and you were not going to kill the tick, would it just exponentially grow to the point where it got as big as your head?
No. I've had ticks on me, but they make me very itchy, and so I notice them really quickly. When a tick is on me, it itches bad, so I'll find them fast. So they don't get big on me. Ticks.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because I had one on the inside of my leg. What is it? February, and it's still itches like hell. I mean, it's like a chigger bite. I still have a red mark, and about once a week, all of a sudden it just starts itching like there's something still in there. Maybe the head's still in there or something. I don't know. But I mean, it still itches. Go ahead.
I've seen some really big ticks, some really engorged ticks, but probably the biggest I've ever seen is probably like, as big as like my pinky from the last joint to the tip of my pinky. It's
wow, that's I mean, you're talking
it's
about
big.
That's huge.
Yeah. So they're not going to eat until they explode. They're going to eat and they're going to drop off and they're going to have babies. That's what they do. Like
okay.
They're gonna get really fat and full, and they're gonna save up that energy, and they're gonna have some tick babies.
Oh, so that's what they do. They eventually just fall off.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they're gonna have to they're gonna have to do something else. They gotta procreate.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that's fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun. If you find a really engorged tick, you pull it off,
mm-hmm.
and we do this all the time. You get a small. Like a 1 cc syringe and needle, and you fill it up with hydrogen peroxide. And then you take the needle and you inject it into the engorged tick, and then you push the hydrogen peroxide inside the body of the tick, and they explode.
Really?
Because the hydrogen peroxide causes the red blood cells to burst.
Oh, wow.
And so they will literally pop.
You've done this before?
Oh, yeah. It's so much fun.
You got... You got to take a video of that, man. I mean, that can go viral. That's kind of cool.
Fun. You can find these. If you can find these videos, I mean, I saw a video of somebody doing it like years and years ago.
Have you ever taken a hair and lassoed a fly?
No.
That's a blast. Get a fly and just catch it and just stun it. So just laser a little bit and just get a long hair from your daughter or whatever, and you can tie a little knot. You only have to tell one time around its neck. And just hold it.
Serious right now?
I'm serious. And you hold it. It just flies. It can't go away. It just flies around in a circle. Oh yeah, we used to do that all the time. Yeah, it's a blast. info@TonyCurryRadio.net. That's where you send your emails. info@TonyCurryRadio.net. By the way, how's your boarding going? Are you full on your boarding? Your boarding's always you always do the best boarding. Yeah. Are you done?
We're full.
Full?
We're full like every weekend.
Really? What about during the week?
During the week, you can find some spots, but I mean, our weekends are slammed.
But for a really
you can call. We have people canceling all the time.
But for a really good friend, you'd probably find some space, right?
We can figure it out.
Okay. Mark wants to know, his dog recently got fleas. He said it sucks. Put a upside down smiley face, which is also known as a frown. But it has a lot of small animals, including gerbils and guinea pigs, and wants to know, can fleas spread from large animals to small animals?
Yeah. I mean, fleas can get on basically any mammal, land mammal. So
how do you treat a hamster with fleas or a chinchilla?
If they'll let you, you can bathe them in Dawn and it'll kill the fleas.
No, chinchillas, you can't do that. They can't get wet.
The hamsters can, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to do my research on the chinchilla flea issue.
A lot of people don't realize that, but chinchillas can't get wet because their follicles are hollow, and they're like polar bears. They get moisture inside those follicles, and the moisture kills the chinchilla. So if they get wet for any period of time, you try to bathe your chinchilla, you get yourself a dead chinchilla. So that's probably not a good idea.
You can put Revolution. You can put selamectin on chinchillas.
Sela what?
It's a topical flea preventative called Revolution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, anything interesting going on at your office? You always have a good story about something going on at your office.
Can you hear that loud dog?
Oh,
barking
yeah.
right now?
What kind of dog is that?
Let's see. I don't know. I must be going into a room. Because it's not on my Central Intelligence Agency camera. So I don't know. It's on my CIA dashboard.
What's been going on at the office? Anything interesting going
on? Nothing jumps to mind right now. I mean, just nothing crazy. Pretty standard stuff going on today and last few days.
All right. Tell people how they can get in touch with you, sir.
You can call us at 208-0301. You can email us, rossbridgeanimalhospital@gmail.com. We are rossbridgevet.com, and you can find us on Facebook.
Do you mind if people just stop by like I do?
No, not at all. I don't mind.
Do you have
It's
people
fine.
do that? Just stop by with their pooches and just go, hey, I'm just here. And you're like, what are you doing here? And you're like, oh,
You know,
just chilling."
the best is when people stop by with food.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
next time I come by,
So, yeah, leave your pet at home
Yeah.
if you're gonna pop in.
Yeah.
Except for you,
Yeah,
you can pop
sure.
in with your pet.
Yeah.
But if you just want to pop in, just bring us some food. We're
Okay.
hungry.
There you go. All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics. It's not really hard to find. It's in Citation Lane. It's on the other side of Green Springs Highway. That's the best way I can put it. When you're talking about Homewood, everyone thinks about the Homewood side, the Soho and all that stuff. It's on the other side over there where the Budweiser and all those things, those big industrial park things. Anybody, but it's great stuff. It's a parking lot. There's a Darth Vader right in front of the place, and it's on Citation Lane. That's all I can tell you. People are like, "Well, Citation
Off
Lane, where's that?"
Oxmoor. Off Oxmoor, right?
It's all right off Oxmoor Road, Citation Lane. And I'm telling you, if you're into comics or into toys, it's going to blow your flipping mind. You're going to get there and you're going to go, what? Because it just keeps going and going and going and going. And they got over 300,000 comics. It's amazing. It's amazing. It almost makes me want to get into comics.
I got to go find my Spawn #1 again.
They probably got a Spawn #1 there. I'll look into it for
But
you.
they do.
I had the legend the other day from our show, ABC 3340. He needed one of those Evil Knievel things, the things you wound up and you let it and the motorcycle goes. He got one for $40. They found a brand new one for him. So we can do that. So, have yourself a good week, my friend.
All right, you too, brother.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.